What's going on, guys? Steve Lady from Pure Evil MMA, MyMMAnews.com. Just wrapping up Bellator 198 and fucking pissed because my internet on my computer's not connecting. So I had one choice, and it was to use my phone because I know there were some people out there that are expecting me to go live tonight, and I can't let the diehards down when they wake up in the morning. But just in case anybody out there wants to see the results on paper, you can always go to mymmanews.com where the recap is up on paper. So we had a couple of guys going out there tonight from mymmanews.com, 3 guys all together. Mike Pendleton, Spagu, what's going on, Sammy? Bellator 198 tonight, man. It went down perfectly for a Bellator card. I know there is frustration out there over in the UK. Trust me, I understand that. And Liam McGeary was even saying today on Twitter, it's just bullshit. Like he doesn't even try to watch the Bellator events because it's so hard to find a stream in the UK. These guys have to watch a day later, a week later, even if you have to watch it an hour later than what it's really live. It's fucking annoying. And if Bellator wants to keep up as the best, they got to do something about that. Damn, I was hoping Mir would pull it off. And here's the thing about this. First off, make sure you guys are following me on Twitter at evil_echo, Instagram at Pure Evil MMA, subscribe on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher at Pure Evil MMA, and at YouTube Pure Evil MMA. Sammy, great point, because that main card, the way that was all going, submission after submission after submission. I mean, we had Emmanuel Sanchez going there, get the submission. Dillon Danis on his pro debut, get the submission. Man, that sucks for the UK folks. It really does suck for the people out in the UK, and a lot of them were keeping up on Twitter. I get a little weary of putting live results out there, especially with Bellator, because I feel them. I really do. You don't want to know what the results are, but we all know. If we don't want to know what the results are, probably not a good idea to go on social media, and definitely stay away from the fucking Bellator hashtags. But I had a lot of fans coming over tonight, a lot of fight fans, not my fans, fight fans, on Twitter, going through the hashtags, keeping up with everything. So always a pleasure helping the UK fans. And it really is a struggle, man. Bellator has to do something about that. They have to fix it. The thing that's holding them back is the Paramount deal, the Spike deal / Paramount deal. UFC has a great spot with FS1, even though there are difficulties with them as well, the Fight Pass being brought into it. Bellator needs to figure something out. I don't know what the answer is. I don't have the answer, but something needs to be done for them to be able to watch live in the UK. Why can't they watch it live in the UK? Why is it on tape live? Why are there all these issues? Pure Evil MMA, cool brand, keep it up. Guys, make sure you guys are following me on Twitter using hashtag Pure Evil MMA. Find all the stuff at mymmanews.com. Yeah, I was trying to do the live stream for everybody. I had everything all set up in here, about to go live for everybody on YouTube, and it was giving me a situation. So the internet I got to figure out. So I'm going live with you guys here on Twitter, the old faithful Periscope. Can't go wrong with Periscope, but I appreciate all the support. Let's talk a little bit about the fights tonight. Let's talk about Dillon Danis really quick. Wow. All right, so Dillon Danis going in there. We are all waiting for his pro debut. He even came in when he was signed to Bellator, claiming that he was the highest paid fighter on the Bellator roster. Now, it's got to piss people like the long reigning champ, Michael Chandler, former champ, Michael Chandler, people that have been in the company for years and years and years as the figures. And there you have this guy, no pro fights, thinks he's tough shit for training with Conor McGregor. Well, he's one of Conor McGregor's coaches. He is Conor McGregor's jiu-jitsu coach. Coach Kavanaugh was actually there tonight as well, which was kind of cool. But all in all, Dillon Danis going there. He got rocked a couple of times in this fight. This fight didn't last long. All in all, lasted 90 seconds. But in the first 30 seconds, he was rocked twice. And I was getting a little nervous. Everybody out there that has been throwing shade toward Dillon Danis, I'm sure they're at the edge of their seat, hoping that he was going to get a piece of that humble pie. But Dillon Danis snatching up legs. And as he says, the samurai way. He was going in there, expect to be killed. Danis ate a few shots. I could see some folks. I missed the last part of that. I'm so sorry about that. Resend that question. But Dillon Danis, man, getting his first win in there, saying that he is the reason why Bellator did so well tonight. I don't know about that. But I will say, there's a lot of people out there, whether they love him or hate him, or didn't even watch, they at least want to know if he won or lost tonight. So there is interest there for Dillon Danis, especially moving forward. He was backstage crying. Right? He's backstage crying after he won this fight, and he calls out Ben Askren? What? Why would you call up Ben Askren? Ben Askren isn't even on the contract for Bellator. That was your plan to call up Ben Askren? You win one pro fight? Let's call it the best in the world? I don't think so. And the way Ben Askren's been going back and forth with Rory McDonald, are you kidding? He's not coming back to Bellator. It's just not happening. If anything, he's trying to get into the UFC. No ifs, ands, or doubts about that. But Dillon Danis moving forward, who do you think he's going to fight next? I mean, it's wide open. The roster is wide open in that division. So all I can say really is congratulations, Dillon Danis. Congratulations on your win. Going in there, getting that finish. If this went to decision, I think a lot of people would be like, oh, fuck this kid. But since you went in there, got the finish done in under 2 minutes, you can't throw any shade at this kid right now. Yeah, you could say he was backstage crying or whatever. It's an emotional thing for him. He's fucking going in there and fighting. How many people go in there and fucking fight for their job? Especially talking all that shit, trying to back it up. There are a lot of people, a lot of pressure on him. You can tell when he was going in there tonight, especially when he finally got inside the cage. I felt, empathetically, picking up on that vibe, that he was stomaching it. And it felt real. And you can tell when he was looking across the cage at his opponent, he had more movement. His opponent seemed a little more calm and relaxed in there. But then again, his opponent is also coming off 2 losses via submission. So it was kind of people could say it's hand-picked for Dillon Danis. So from going to this opponent who lost 2 fights in a row via submission, now 3, to calling out Ben Askren, that's far-fetched. But however, you got the win. Celebrate it, man. Enjoy it. So Dillon Danis getting the win tonight. What else do we got here on my notes? Emmanuel Sanchez going in there, getting the finish over Sam Sicilia. That was a fun one. Well, let's see what I got written down. Dillon Danis beating Kyle Walker at 1 minute and 38 seconds via toe hold. But like I said, Dillon Danis, he got rocked twice in this fight. The post-fight speech, he sticks to his role of this bad guy persona, this evil persona, and I love that. He's sticking to a role. It was emotional for him, but he kept to the role. He waited till backstage till any emotion started really showing. He also said this was the second biggest Bellator event. Do a number crunch on that because maybe this year. I can see it being like, all right, this year, because the past couple of Bellator events, if you look at how many people were viewing in, it was under 200,000 people that were tuning in for these fights. Now, I don't think that's counting the DVRs. So don't take my quote on that, but from what I've heard, the past 5 Bellator events have been under 200,000 views. Tonight, I think it was a successful night for Bellator. I think leading up to it, they did a great job promoting Fedor as one of the greatest of all times. Yes, he did lose to Matt Mitrione. Yes, Frank Mir is a huge legend. I'll never forget the first time I saw Frank Mir fight. I'll never forget the Brock Lesnar. What are we saying? You think Lovato should get next title shot? Winner of Mousasi versus Carvalho. Interesting. Gegard Mousasi, man. He's been having some issues, but honestly, I think the submission win that Lovato had tonight was very impressive. He really needed a finish, and he went in there beating... who the fuck did he beat? Why am I drawing a huge blank here? Neiman Gracie versus Javier Torres. Rafael Lovato defeats Gerald Harris. Now, here's another thing about that fight, though. They got to keep in mind, Gerald Harris making his Bellator walk, also taking this fight on short notice. He was ready to DVR this fight, he said. And he took this fight on short notice. Yeah, it was Harris. Kiss my ball, Jamal Emmett's on Dana White's Contender Series. I cannot wait for Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. Let's split off, talk about that really quick. But as for Lovato, man, I would love to see him get the winner of that fight. But Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series, I was just at Lion Fight 42 to see Antonina Shevchenko fight. It was... If you were basing excitement off of that fight, she needs to do more in the Contender Series. She didn't go in there and finish her opponent. She was winning. I had it all 5 rounds, but the way that one judge scored it, I think one judge scored it 48 to 50. Or no. What the fuck am I talking about? One judge didn't score all 5 rounds for Antonina Shevchenko. If Antonina goes in there the way that she did for Lion Fight, I understand that she needed to win. She needed to build the momentum. But honestly, if she goes in there at Dana White's Tuesday Contender Series and thinks she's going to get a contract off a performance like that, it's going to be a frustrating after show for her because she needs to get it finished with all the hype going up as Valentina's sister. There's also Nick Newell going into Dana White's Season 8 Contender Series. There is a lot of hype going into Season 2. So, I don't know if Snoopcast is coming back. There was a lot of drama going on there with that, especially with what he was saying about Conor McGregor after the Mayweather fight. But I am not going to miss a single Tuesday Night Contender Series. So make sure you guys follow me here on Twitter. I will definitely catch your boy Emmett out on there, and I would love to get an interview with him. But let's jump back into Bellator. Neiman Gracie going there under his uncle, right? He's with his uncle for this one, I believe, right? Is he training with Henzo, I believe? Night Eddie, get some rest, brother. All right, Sammy, get some rest too. Neiman Gracie defeating Javier Torres via arm triangle at 3:18 of round 2. It's just cliche. This entire main card was all submission. So we really thought going into that main event, Frank Mir should have got that by submission. It would have only been right. But this entire Bellator card did an amazing. I'm interested to see if it brought in over 200K. I think it did. But for Dillon Danis to say that this is number 2, maybe of the year. Maybe of the year, but not a Bellator of all time. Are you fucking kidding me? I don't know. But they definitely did good. Here's another thing. There were people tonight throwing a lot of shade at Fedor Emelianenko and Frank Mir going into it, saying that they're washed up. This fight should have happened years and years ago. Fedor Emelianenko, man, going in there and represent. And this is exactly what needed to happen leading into this next fight. And to even think that him versus Chael Sonnen is even real, that's going to happen. That is the next fight. Man, I am scared for Chael Sonnen. But Chael did the right thing. He's such a vet going in there and, doing the bad boy speech. It was so weird seeing all these UFC fighters or Pride champions, greatest of all time, going in there tonight. Bellator picking up a great roster. They just need to fix the broadcasting thing. It's one thing that needs to be fixed. And if they can do this once every month, if they can put on a card like this, they don't get me wrong, they have a great roster. They're building an awesome roster over at Bellator, but they need to figure out this whole broadcasting thing. It's a huge issue. Now, shout out to Bellator for allowing my MMA news and other major websites out there stream the prelims. Not being so strict on social media. I mean, if you go on Periscope, I saw a lot of Bellator on there. I saw a lot of highlights on Instagram. For UFC, they're very strict. They'll go in there and they'll pull every single one of those out and try to ban your profile. They did it to me on my Facebook. That's why I'm no longer on Facebook anymore. But Bellator realizes that the fans are the biggest promotional tool that they have. And I think they made a huge mistake, and they realized it when they did that pay-per-view during the summer for Matt Mitrione when he beat Fedor Emelianenko. We remember that night in Madison Square Garden. It was genius not to do another pay-per-view for this. It was genius to do it free. I think Bellator is picking up a lot of younger eyes with the Paramount package. And overall, if we had to rate tonight as a successful out of 10, we're doing it out of 10 now. I'm giving tonight a good 9 out of 10 for a Bellator card. Now, in competition with the UFC, it's right up there, man. I'd give tonight a good 7 out of 10 if this was a UFC card. It was a successful card, all in all. Chicago fans were going nuts. I asked Mike Pendleton about it. He said the atmosphere there was... I'm not surprised, motherfuckers. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Here we are talking about freaking Bellator 198. You got all the stars lined up there. It was a great night. And here's another thing. Another genius thing was there was no UFC this weekend. So Bellator really finally was able to have the spotlight. That's another huge pickup for Bellator there. So UK fans, unfortunately, weren't able to tune in. It's okay. I hope you guys are able to catch the replay. It was a great night. All finishes. No boring fights. For all the fans out there that love the ground game, it was your night. And all in all, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 for a Bellator. 9 out of 10. Really, for a Bellator card, it's close to a 10 out of 10. Let's give it a 9 out of 10. Compared to a UFC card, easy 7 out of 10 there. Guys, have a great night. Thanks for tuning in to Pure Evil MMA. Make sure you subscribe on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at evil_echo. We just broke 4.8K tonight followers, so I really thank all my new followers on Twitter. Instagram at Pure Evil MMA. Instagram has been killing it lately, guys, so I really appreciate all my new followers on there. been seeing a huge boost on Instagram. I've been trying to pick up that game. Shout out to everybody that's been picking up all the new latest merch done by MMA Pick. I appreciate that. I think there's only one day left or a couple more hours left to get your hands on some of the latest Pure Evil MMA merch. So I'm going to be relaunching this campaign. This was a very popular campaign, the Pure Evil MMA, with the hashtag on the back for Twitter. So I'm going to be relaunching that on Teespring ASAP as soon as this campaign with MMA Pick has run its course. I did see a couple purchases, so thank you guys, whoever was out there buying some merch. I really appreciate that. MMA Pick sends his gratitude as well. Other than that, guys, have a great night. What you can expect from me this weekend, recap on YouTube, because we had such a shitty night with the internet connection here. Well, now it's saying, of course, now. So I'm sorry for any of the fans that were tuning in on YouTube, hoping they were going to get to see a recap. I had to go live somewhere, so thank you guys for tuning in here on Periscope. Usually don't do the recaps on here like this, but I'll probably be uploading this audio tonight to iTunes, so subscribe on iTunes at Pure Evil MMA. Leave a review, you have a chance to win a giveaway. Podbean.com, Stitcher, Podomatic, wherever you're listening to podcasts, I'm there. YouTube at Pure Evil MMA, and you can find all the Pure Evil MMA content at MyMMAnews.com. Guys, have a great night. I'm Evil Eddie from Pure Evil MMA, MyMMAnews.com. White knuckles till the end. Behave yourselves.